The holidays are right around the corner. Do you have someone that's interested in resin 3D printing and got a lot of questions? Well, join me today as I recommend how 2 printers, 2 resins, and why you should consider resin 3D printing. See you guys inside. Hello and welcome to today's video. As I said, we are talking about resin printing. The holidays are here. I think as this video is released, it is Black Friday, and then we have Cyber Monday and a bunch, not a whole lot days left till Christmas shopping left to go, but there are some cool deals. Now, I gave my recommendation already for a filament printer, a 3D filament printer. The Odin F5 is a great starter printer in that realm, but today is all about resin. UV cured resin. Now, this can be a difficult topic. So I'm going to recommend 2 printers, 2 wash stations, 2 resins, and then first we're going to talk about, is resin 3D printing really where you want to go? So let's dive into those topics, shall we? But before we do, if you like the content in this channel, you're new here and you're interested in 3D printing and different things like that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the crew. We talk about it every week. So make sure you join us. If you got any questions, resin, normal, filament, whatever, comments, leave them down below. I try to get back to you guys and help you out. So definitely do that. So let's move into the topic. Why do you want resin 3D printing? Well, what are you looking to do with your 3D printer? Are you wanting to print big? Are you looking at like 28 minifigures, D&D, Warhammer? What are you looking at printing and what kind of detail are you after? So that's kind of an important thing that you got to look at. And why do you want to do the 3D printing? Also, safety. Safety is key because resin printing, while beautiful in results, you're working with a hazardous chemical, there are fumes, and you got to use different chemicals to clean this stuff to finish it. So keep that in mind that there are some safety issues here that, one, you want to protect yourself by using this, but also just make sure that you're using it safely for everybody around you. Like if you have a little kid in your house, you want to make sure these are up where they can't reach them and different things like that. So let's hit into the safety part. You are working with a chemical resin. You want to protect your eyes with good eyewear. You want to protect your hands with nitrate gloves. And you want to make sure that you're doing this in a well-ventilated spot. So, why? Well, one, the resin has a scent. Most of them do. A lot of printers have charcoal filters built into them and stuff like that, which one of the printers I'm going to recommend does, one does not. And it's one of those things you got to keep that fume in mind. But also, this stuff splashing on you, it can chemically burn you. So that's why you have the nitrate gloves. That's why you have the glasses on your eyes, so you don't get this in your eyes and hurt yourself. So kind of keep that in mind. The lid is on there for a reason, in case something splashes or something happens, you don't get hurt. But also, there's the cleaning process you've got to keep in mind, because I am going to talk about cleaning stations in this video as well. So you've got to clean it. So when you pull it out of the printer, there's extra resin, liquid stuff just kind of glooped on it. You either need to use denatured alcohol or isopropyl alcohol to clean it off. Some people just pour it over the model and scrub it with a toothbrush. I use a wash and cure station where I throw it in a bin of it and it cleans it. There's a spinner that spins it around, creates a vortex, and cleans the model for me, and it's reusable, which is awesome, by the way. But you also have that scent, those chemicals. So you want to make sure you're following proper safety, make sure you have this out of reach of little children, different things like that, and just be on the safe side. So safety, done. Let's talk about why we want to do this. And the main reason for resin is detail. You can get some superb detail out of resin printing. For example, this is a figure, one piece, the white's going to blur out, of Mercy from Overwatch that I printed. Very great detail, very quick print. This was done in a day, and it comes out very nicely. Very intricate, where you have other figures like this Space Marine. He's done in a different type of resin, but you get extreme detail. You don't have the hassle of filament supports. and you can easily get stuff done. One of my favorites is, of course, Mendo. You get extreme detail real easy, which is great, and you don't have all the supports you have to take off. But two, you got to talk about size. Most of your standard resin printers that are for commercial home use print very small. They have very small build plates, maybe about like that. So you can definitely print a lot of these real quick, or use tools like Mesh Mixer to break up a model to print something bigger on the smaller printer. Now, this was not printed on a standard. This was printed on an Anycubic Photon Mono X in one piece. It's more of a large scale. You can definitely print larger, which is great. Awesome. Same with Iron Man here. He was done on the Photon Mono. And you get extremely good detail. So, you're after detail, you're after miniatures. Resin is where you want to go. If you're wanting big prints like starships and different things like that, this may not be the way you want to go. You may actually want to look at that filament printer and definitely refine your printer down to like a 0.2 nozzle and make sure you're printing very quickly and very slowly and get your detail. And watch how your sports work. Because you guys see what I do here. You can get really good detail with filament printer. There's a lot of knock-in that you don't get the detail. You can. It is doable. You may have to break your print up, but it's doable. And Mesh Mixer is a free tool. The tool you'll use that comes with most of the resin printers is called Shinto Box. It's a free tool, works great. There is a pay-for version, but I just use a free version myself, and it works fine. But keep in mind, you have to do that. So what printers do I recommend? We're going to shift over into that. For a great beginner printer, the CR-L-002 is a great printer from Creality. This thing is my little workhorse. I've tried multiple different printers. This guy, out of the box, calibrated him in 15 minutes. And I've been printing ever since. I think I've torn the FET paper on it once in like a year that I've owned this thing. It is a workhorse. And it doesn't even matter what resin I'm really using, because I use 2-3 different types of resin. And this thing is just a workhorse. Link to it down in the description below on Amazon. I don't know what sales are going to be this year, but if you want to get someone started and get them started well, this one's great. And it has the charcoal filter for fumes. So it does reduce the odor a little bit, which is a great thing. There are newer models out there, which I don't know their prices, but they can be a great thing. The other printer that I recommend that I love is the larger format Anycubic Photon Mono X. This thing lets me do large scale figurines, single print, smooth. I've done stuff, well, hang on one second. I've done large prints. This is a Imperial Raider. I've done this all in one piece printed like this, and it just prints it. So, and you get great detail in that print. So this one hasn't been sanded or anything. This is just the supports taken off. Ivan Riviera actually, I think, was here and helped me take the supports off this one. So it's one of those things. It's a good large format printer, but you don't have the charcoal filter. But the cool thing is you can 3D print forms to put a charcoal filter on the printer, which is pretty cool. It also comes with Wi-Fi on it, so you can Wi-Fi connect it to your house and just send your models via Wi-Fi and different things like that that the Creality, the printer that I said, does not have, but there are newer ones. So those are my two printers. Now, you need a wash and cure station. Definitely something to cure it with, and I recommend the wash and cure station. So if you're going with the Creality wash and cure station runs about $100. It works really well. I like the Anycubic wash and cure stations. I like their displays, inputs, and different things like that. And if you're just going with the Creality, the standard Anycubic wash and cure station V2 will do the job. No problem. But if you go with the Photon Mono X, which by the way, that one runs an average of $600 for that printer. Kind of keep that in mind. The average for the Creality LRD002 is about $189. But sales, who knows what they're going to be. So definitely keep an eye on the sales this next month. But it also allows you to make sure you're getting a good printer. And that's what I want you guys to get. Now, the Photon Mono X, there was a learning curve. It took me a while to get used to it because of the larger platform. I had to cure the bottom layers longer to get a good firm hold for the heavier model. But back to wash and cure stations, if you get the Photon Mono X, which is larger than the standard, you're going to need the Anycubic Wash and Cure Plus. It's larger, meant to handle these larger models, and has space for it, where larger models on the other one can be a pain to cure. So keep that in mind as you're going through different things. So, the third piece. You got the printer, you got the wash and cure station. Now you need the resin. Well, you go out there on Amazon, whoo, there's tons of choices. You guys can see here, there's one predominant that I use and there's another one that I branched into. And I'm loving. So my standard, and I haven't opened this one up, is from Illigoop. It is their standard photopolymer resin. This is a 1 kg bottle. This runs about $35. But you can get a lot of minis out of $35. Or you can get some pretty good large scale models out of $35. But one I've recently moved into, because they sent me a bottle and I just kind of fell in love, that is far more expensive, but it's a good resin, is over to eSun. They're tough resin. On Amazon, this runs about 50 bucks for the large bottle. But let me tell you, taking off supports and different things with the other resins and stuff that I've tried can be a pain because it cracks the model. This stuff, until you cure it, there is still flex to it, which is great. It allows me to take soft supports and allow me to get a really good model. This was done with the eSun Tough resin, and I love this stuff. It took primer like a champ. I did not have a very hard time priming this model, which was great. So, all in all, those are my recommendations if you want to go into resin printing. Start the year off right, start them off easy. These are tried and true printers that I use every day. So my recommendation is full score behind these things. So again, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have questions, leave them down in the comments down below. And I thank you guys, and we will see you in the next video.